The advice I'm going to give you is really toxic. And even though I said it's for educational purposes only, this stuff works. And see, I wasn't really obviously any relationship with a narcissist is toxic, but my relationship with a narcissist was really back and forth, like many relationships people get in with a narcissist. And at certain points, I wasn't proud of it, but I was finding ways, and sometimes accidentally, to get back at them. I remember one time after we, in one of our many breakups, she just happened to see me like walking down the street with like just a new person I was dating, and that really like I could tell like I caught like a glimpse of how she looked, and I could tell she was really mad. And that's an obvious way to make a narcissist mad, especially if you identify as an empath, especially if you were giving them, that grade A supply. The narcissist is going to get mad when they feel like they've lost control of you. It's not a love thing. It's not like they miss you because, they, they want to like make out with you or something like that. They miss you because they just straight up miss whatever you were giving them. And they want to punish you whenever you aren't like living up to their narcissistic worldview. So one of the ways I would punish the narcissist, I would ghosting is one, right? You can go no contact with them because you'll see on the opposite end, narcissists will do this to you. A lot of these methods are similar to what a narcissist would do to hurt you. But the thing about ghosting and no contact is the narcissist, if you, especially if you broke up with them, they want revenge on you. They are trying to like get you jealous. That's why they are constantly harassing you, trying to put their new supply in your face, or sometimes they'll try to like get back with you just so they can be the ones to break up with you. They really play these silly toxic games, and you just have to not give them a chance to do that to you. If you ghost them, if you don't give them a chance to see if you're, even if like honestly going on social media and posting that you're happy or trying to like shove it in their face that you're happy, that kind of gives them supply as well. And truly, it's people say no contact is to heal and all that stuff, and which is true to a certain extent, but really no contact, I think the what people will get the most pleasure out of doing no contact is knowing that it hurts the narcissist knowing that, well, not knowing, right? It's the not knowing that really upsets them. The narcissist is really, they really are like living inside of their own heads, and I've said this many times before, they don't see too far away from their own perceptions, and it drives them crazy to not know what you're up to, because they want to know if you're doing bad, and also they want to know if you're doing good so they could go out there and ruin your life, or finish the job, so to speak. The narcissist really just hates not knowing, and that's really just one way of hurting the narcissist. Another way that is really mean, and this is just borders on like psychopathic, is if you could find a way to isolate the narcissist. And I've always said that probably a narcissist's worst nightmare is being in like solitary confinement, or like being locked up in like, I don't know, or like being put in like a cave somewhere and like stranded in a cave just by themselves. I'm very sure that that is one of the narcissist's biggest fears in life. Like, it's obviously this is all for educational purposes only, but if you were to lock a narcissist in like a room by themselves for like hours on end, I would feel like they would almost have some kind of psychotic break or something. See, the narcissist, really, we all run away from ourselves, but the narcissist does it to such an extent that it becomes a personality disorder. And you see this in all types of I mean, really, if you really think about a lot of personality disorders, it's about running from the self. A lot of people get PTSD from dealing with a narcissist. That is not wanting to deal with like the horrific things that have happened to you, like going to war or dealing with a narcissist. and you are running away from those emotions. You feel them really intensely, but a big part of PTSD is that you aren't able to function. So you're like a lot of people who suffer from it will like drink and stuff. And if you look at like schizophrenia, it's like they are out of their mind, right? It's always running away from just reality, and that is what the narcissist fears most: facing reality. And if you can, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that like locking them in a room, but if you can find a way for them to face reality, is that would like really hurt a narcissist. And the next one kind of ties into that, or is kind of similar, and that's that if you could expose a narcissist. Again, this one is pretty dangerous. When you see the narcissist is this huge lie, this huge game, and their whole game plan is not just lying to themselves, but obviously lying to you, lying to everyone around them. So yeah, narcissists are really afraid of being figured out, because, and it just shows how fragile their whole game plan is. That if someone just exposes the type of person you are, or that you've been lying and deceiving just one person, just exposing them about one person will likely shatter everyone else's expectations, right? And you got to be careful with this one, because narcissists will become very vindictive and very angry when you expose them. It's a funny story where, um, I've always, there's just been so many narcissists and weird people in my life. And I'm not going to say, one of my family members is a narcissist. And my mother was threatening, well, the narcissist was obviously doing terrible things like narcissists do. And my mom, not really, my mother's a sweet person, but I doubt she's ever really read. She's really into self help, but she doesn't really know. She probably doesn't even know what narcissism is. But that motherly intuition kicked in, and she knew exactly what would hurt the narcissist the most. And this is kind of where I got this technique from. It was from her, and that's like, she told this other member of her family that if you don't start acting right, the narcissist, right? My mom said, if you don't start acting right to the narcissist, I'm gonna go tell all your friends that you do this and this to this other person in our family. And that really like stopped, that corrected, it didn't heal them, but it definitely corrected the narcissist behavior, because that is definitely one of their greatest fears, is being exposed, because that gets rid of, that's their only move. They lying and manipulation and like that whole thing they put us through, that's really their only play. If you notice about the narcissist, they're very one-dimensional beings, in the sense that they don't have many moves. Like that whole like gaslighting and lying and tricking people out of their stuff, that's their only move. And like who does that? That's like some used car salesman, like bad lawyer kind of. That's people wherever you go, people who like lie and scam. It's people that's kind of like their only out in life. They're not smart enough, or they don't have the work ethic, or just whatever enough to do it the right way. So they scam people. And this is why I don't feel bad about putting out content like this. It's, I'm gonna put a disclaimer at the end of this and say that I've gone through all types of BS, and I won't bore you with the details, but I will say that when you really sit down and process the all the BS that can happen to you in this life, and you really like say, man, I want to get revenge on this person, because I've been there. And going out and hurting other people, it doesn't really bring you that much satisfaction. It ends up just creating more chaos. It might get you in trouble, and it just adds on to the BS, right? Of course, justice needs to be served. If a narcissist stole from you, or physically hurt you, or just did something really awful, then they do obviously deserve to be punished. Maybe not criminal, like not like doing something illegal against them, but like they do deserve what's coming to them. And that's that just goes into why the narcissist is so paranoid, and who they are, and why they are who they are. It's just the fact that, if imagine, put yourself in the shoes of the narcissist. They go out and do this to everyone, and people end up seeking revenge on them. This is trust me, if you go out and do this stuff, even though I don't condone it, you'll see that the narcissists will have their guard up. They When you go around stealing from people, manipulating people, like doing people dirty, it's in your, because you're a good person, you probably don't know about this, but anyone that's like this, whether they're like doing fraud, like bank fraud, or they're, whatever, doing robberies or some crazy thing like that, you're always looking over your shoulder and you're always paranoid of people, because when you do dirt and when you hurt other people, you make enemies. You know that there's people looking for you, and you know that about your personality, that the type of person you are, you just attract these type of people into your life, and it might not be that easy to get revenge on a narcissist. You might, and in my humble opinion, you don't really want to, but sometimes in life we have to go through these processes to just really process and grieve and just go through it. Sometimes you have to go out and make mistakes to see that, sometimes you have to do good and bad things. Sometimes you have to succeed at things to see that it's not all it's cracked up to be. Like getting revenge, if you go out and do it, you'll see that revenge really wasn't worth it, and that's really just, that's life. That sets you apart from the narcissist. You're going to learn from this experience and move on and become a better person. The narcissist will very, very likely always be that person, and they will likely be, you know, ultimately a failure in life.